Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here as a speaker. It's been years. I was a guest speaker before COVID, and then I had my third child, so I took a little bit of time off. But it's so nice to get back on with you guys, and I'm super excited because it's spring, and you guys all know what spring is known for, spring cleaning, right?
Really?
So this topic is perfect for this time of year, and I'm just here to help you guys get started, help you guys hopefully really understand the process of decluttering, why it's important, and I also put together a list of tips that you can hopefully take away with you today and implement in your homes. Um, the first thing that I just want to start off with is, you know, just as a Muslim myself, I think it's so important to understand that we're leaving this world with nothing in our hands except for our good deeds. And I really try to remember that a lot when it comes to decluttering. How many items, how many material items do we really want to leave behind? We don't want to leave behind that many. We don't want to be a burden on others and carry the weight of those items, right? And be attached to them. So that's one thing that I just wanted to start off with. And that's always a reminder for myself. And in general, when you put religion aside, when it comes to clutter, clutter can disorient us. It's very distracting and it's draining. It can actually make you physically tired just staring at clutter. There was a UCLA study that said that people who describe their house as cluttered, they have higher cortisol levels. And cortisol is a stress hormone. So your physical surroundings can really impact you and affect you, and they can cause you a lot of stress. And so that's why I think it's very important to make decluttering a priority in your life. Research has also suggested that if you have a cluttered space, this can lead to procrastination. So if you find yourself constantly not being able to finish tasks, things are always incomplete, you find yourself dragging your feet, it's because your space might be affecting you. It might be causing you to procrastinate your deadlines and things that you really need to get done. And it can actually also increase, I know I'm a dietitian as well, so I'm just going to put this in there. It can actually also increase your mindless eating when your space is cluttered. It's linked to eating more and snacking more. So it can also affect your physical health, not just mentally, but your actual physical health. So what does this mean? In summary, that means that our space around us affects us more than we know. And when our eyes perceive any kind of disorganization, when you open up a closet and you don't know where anything is and things are on top of each other, you can feel very overwhelmed. Right away, there's a feeling inside your chest. You can feel it. This is called stress, and this is called being very overwhelmed. And if you've ever experienced constantly having to search for the same things over and over in your day-to-day life, like your keys, your phone, things to take to the gym, things that you need to return to people, this can be it's called mental fatigue, and it takes up mental space. So physical surroundings can also clutter your brain. And when your brain is cluttered, it's really hard to function in general. So this is just kind of like a backstory and an introduction to what clutter is, how it can affect us. And now we're going to talk about what we're going to do about it. So some super practical tips that you guys can take away today. So I'm going to share my screen and you feel free to write these down. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, perfect. So tips on how to declutter. When I'm working with any clients of mine, even family, friends, they always tell me, what's the number one way to start decluttering? I always tell them, start with number one. Number one, clear off your flat surfaces and keep them clean. So what's considered a flat surface? Your countertops, your tabletop, your nightstands, your desk. These are the spaces that will affect you the most. Why? Because they're in the open. They're constantly in your visual space. You cannot close them up. It's not like a closet. It's not like a room that you can close the door. So how do you get started? Let's start with your countertop. we love to cook, right? We all love to cook. We all love to be in the kitchen. The kitchen is the heart of the home, but the kitchen can also get very cluttered, and that can be a problem if you're spending a lot of time in there. So let's start with your countertop kitchen. Let's say there's just too many things on this countertop. So I want you guys to start by literally removing every item on that countertop. Remove everything and put it on the floor. Put all those items on the floor. And then I want you to think to yourself, what absolutely needs to get back on that countertop that I am using on a daily basis? What am I using? What do I absolutely need for my day to go smoothly? Those are the items that you pick up off the floor and you put back on the countertop. Everything else that's left on the floor that you've decided that you literally are not touching this during the day, it doesn't bring value to your day, it doesn't bring value to your life, to your kitchen, you're going to want to confine that in a cupboard, in a drawer. You're going to want to either hang it, if you need to hang it up on a hook or in a closet, or you might want to even think of donating it at that point if it's truly something that's never going to be used. But that's step 2. So that's how you're going to clear off all your flat surfaces. And how do you keep them clean? You keep them clean by making it part of your daily routine to put those items back that have gotten onto that countertop. You don't say tomorrow I'm going to do it. I'll do it on the weekend. You make it part of your evening, your routine. You make it part of your after dinner routine. You're putting away the dishes. You might as well put away a few things that are on the countertop that don't need to be on the countertop. Another solution for countertops is I like to buy a countertop organizer. Some type of device, you can get like a 3-sectioned filing bin. You can get a 3-section drawer organizer. Something small you can put up on your countertop to move a lot of those small items and keep them confined. Keep them in one space so they're not scattered all over and they're not in your visual space so that you don't experience that clutter. So that's number 1, clearing off flat surfaces. Number 2, you want to pick a decluttering strategy that best suits your lifestyle. You know, we're all in different phases of life. Some of us have young children. Some of us are studying. Some of us are retired. Some of us have grandchildren. So you want to find the best system that works for you. So for example, if you work and you have limited time, maybe you need to start decluttering one room at a time, maybe one drawer at a time. And that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable as long as you're moving forward. Let's say you have children. Maybe you need to focus on a multi-purpose storage solution because there's multiple people in the house with multiple needs. So that might be the system that works for you. So you need to experiment. And it's okay to fail a few times until you find the best system that works for you. But once you find it, stick to it and continue to make it part of your routine. Number 3, don't wait for spring cleaning season. This is something that many people fall into, and this is a huge mistake. Can you imagine if you only cleaned once a year, you only spring cleaned once a year, everything's piling up all year long, and then all of a sudden you have a mountain high of things to go through. Your chances of actually successfully decluttering are not going to be very high because at that point, it becomes extremely overwhelming. So my kids, they have me memorized. They know every 2 weeks, mama's going to be decluttering. Every month, I'm going to be decluttering. They know exactly what's going to happen when they see me walk around with that big bag and I walk into their room. They got used to me. It's been years. So you need to be doing this constantly. I have a friend who says every single time she does laundry, she's constantly looking. What's worn out? What's ripped? What doesn't fit anymore? What needs to be donated? What needs to be given to another family member? So it's constant, not just once a year. So I know spring cleaning, technically, it's the time where it's warmer weather. You know, people have more energy because the weather is nicer, the sun is out. So that's why it's easier to do spring cleaning. But for me, I feel like spring cleaning means it's time for me to do like the garage because now it's going to be summer and it's warmer and I can work in my outdoor space. But inside of my home where it's warm all year long, I should be able to do decluttering all year long. So that's number 3. Number 4, I want you guys to ask yourself, which items do you actually use And even if you need to make a list, even if you need to sit and hold that item and hold it and actually think about it and meditate on it for a little while, that's okay. Think about it. Does this item bring me any value? Does it bring me stress? When was the last time I used it? When was the last time I actually touched it? These are things you need to ask yourself. And if all the answers are no, I haven't used it, I haven't touched it, it doesn't bring me happiness, it doesn't add value to my life, it's definitely time to donate it. And I always tell everyone, don't think twice about donating items. Once you've decided to donate it, donate it. That's it. That's number 4. And I want to add something to number 4. A lot of times I'll go into people's houses and I'll see that they have all these beautiful bins and they're perfectly labeled with stuff that they don't use. What's the point of that? What's the point of having a bin that's labeled with items you don't use taking up space? I always tell everyone, try to give it to someone who actually is going to use it. Help that person. They actually might need to be using that way more than you're using it. And also, I get asked this question a lot because my dad has this mentality. Well, maybe one day I'll need it. Maybe one day I'll need it. In 5 years or in 10 years, maybe one day I'll need it. There's a very small percentage that you'll need it, but we live in a land of plenty and things are very readily available and they're easy to get. So let's say one day you needed it, you can rent it. You can rent it from Home Depot. You can borrow it from a family member. You can borrow it from a friend. If you feel like you needed to buy it again because you're going to use it so many times, that's fine too. But if it's causing you stress right now, it's time to get rid of it. It's time to donate it. Don't always think in your mind, maybe one day I'm going to need it, because that's really going to stop you from decluttering. Number 5, designate a place for the clutter to go. This one might sound a little weird, like what? I thought I'm trying to get rid of clutter. Why should I have a designated place for clutter? So what this means is this is a temporary space where you put items that you can't really deal with right now. So I'm going to give you a very simple example. In my house, we get a lot of mail. I get a lot of papers from my kids' school. I get a lot of papers from work. And right when I come home, am I going to be able to deal with those papers right away? No, I'm not. But should they be just sitting on my desk in a pile, or should I throw them on the kitchen countertop to sit there for a week? That's considered clutter. That's going to trigger that anxiety. So for example, I have a to file bin, and then I have a to look through bin, a folder that's in a drawer. So I'll put those papers that I need to look through in that file so I can get to it later. So it's kind of like organized clutter. So I have a space for that clutter. Or for example, I have a space in my downstairs closet. When I go to Target and I buy a whole bunch of things like cleaning products and I don't have time to go through them right away, I have a basket in the closet where I can just throw them. They're out of my way. And when it comes time to where I need them and I want to put them back in the cupboard upstairs or in the linen closet, they're in their space out of the way and I can easily take them, grab them, and go put them back in their spot. So that's what it means when it says designate a place for the clutter to go. Number 6, this is my favorite one. If you implement anything from this entire list, this is the one to implement. It's called the 1 in, 1 out rule. And I've used this for over 10 years, and it literally works like a charm. Your house will never, ever get cluttered if you implement this rule all the time. The moment you bring something new into your home, one item must exit the home. That's 1 in, 1 out. I buy a new dress, I get rid of an old dress. I buy a new pair of sneakers, I get rid of my other pair of sneakers. I buy a new pot, I get rid of the old pot. This way, the clutter will never pile up because you're just literally replacing that item and you're removing it. So you're not adding to the space, you're just replacing. So this is a rule that works like a charm. Number 7, excuse me. You want to declutter in stages. So like I said before, have you ever been in a situation where you decide to declutter a whole room and then halfway through you just stop? Because at that point, the room looks like a disaster. Everything is out of the closet and drawers. You don't even know where to go with this stuff. You haven't purchased the right materials to organize it. And at that point, you're just like, I can't even go on anymore. So that's why it's very important to declutter in stages. And even when I do projects with my clients, I do projects in stages. We do a declutter day, we do a donation day, and then we come in and we do the organizing day. So in order to get organized, you have to make space first. Don't try to get organized without making space and decluttering first. So that's really important. And then number 8, you want to make sure that everything you have in your home has a specific place. Can you imagine how nice it is to know exactly where everything is in your house? What a comforting feeling to know if someone asks you, where's the tape measure? I know where that is. I have a spot for that. Where's your iron, mama? I have a spot for that. Where are your cleaning cloths? I have a spot for that. Where's your backup medicine? I have a spot for that. It's so nice to know that something has a home. And if something doesn't have a home and it doesn't have a spot, you need to reevaluate how many of that item are you buying? I truly believe that Costco and Amazon have ruined the world. They've ruined the world. Why do you need to buy 10 toothpastes at a time when you literally only have space for 2? Oh, it's a better deal. Is it really? Is it really a better deal? If you're running out of space, you have so much stuff, you don't even know what you have. So then you end up rebuying because you don't know what you have. You have so much of the same thing. You're not even going through it as quickly as you can. So this is something to reevaluate. Buying items has just become so easy. It's the click of the button. We go to Costco, we buy $400 worth of stuff because we think we got an amazing deal. So now we end up with all this stuff. We're stressed out. We don't have anywhere to put it. We end up cramming it all over the place. Now you don't even know what you have. So really, getting a good deal is overrated sometimes. Sometimes you just need to buy what you need and what you have space for. And that truly will make a huge difference. Number 9, you want to create a decluttering checklist. So I'm going to stop talking right now, and I want everybody to write down with a pencil and paper or on your phone or on your computer. I want you to write down 5 areas in your home that are the top clutter collecting spaces in your home that are triggering you right now and you're constantly worried about, they're giving you anxiety. I'm going to give you a minute or 2 to write those down.
Five areas only.
5 areas only. Remember, because we're going to work in stages.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you guys need more time?
I think you're done.
I'll give you guys one more minute.
You just asked us to write 5 points.
5 areas, yeah. 5 top.
5 areas. 5 areas,
Yeah.
okay.
5 top areas.
Got it.
Done.
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 Does anybody want to share?
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
I think it will be same everywhere. It will be same for everybody.
Okay.
Should I go ahead?
Yeah, you can share.
Number 1 is the wardrobe.
The wardrobe.
Then the dressing table drawers. If you put everything, whatever extra is there, let's put it there, to get it out of the way. And then paperwork, which is mail. which
The mail?
comes in the mail. And I have lots and lots of photographs. I don't know what to do with them. And then books.
Books.
The shoes also. Shoes is also one of the, that will come in wardrobe.
Those are really good ones. Does anybody else want to share?
Sure, I can share. I need to, shall I go?
Sure, of course, yeah.
So I need to declutter my kitchen drawers, which
Okay.
I've been doing periodically, but it's not really organized. My closets, the main contender in the closets is these clothes that we get from back home. We just wear them like maybe once or twice, and they're in good condition. I do give it out from time to time, but I still have a lot. My desk, that's a real killer.
Yes.
And then garage, that's where most of the stuff my husband, he doesn't want to give away, even though we haven't used it in 30 items, or we haven't used it in 25, 30 years. So my plan is first I do my part. The kitchen drawers are, and I've been planning to do this, are the decluttered closets, my desk. And then if he's not on the board in cleaning the garage, then I will ask my son to come and get everything down, because
Yeah.
now he shouldn't be even climbing on the ladder.
Yeah.
So I'll just have my son
For sure.
bring everything down, and then either it goes to the donation or it goes in the, we can hire a bin. So once I do my part, then I can say, okay, I did my part. Now you need to get on board.
I love
Because-
that. That's a great way to go about it. And honestly, garages are basically your donation center.
I know.
Like, honestly, once
Yes.
something goes out to the garage, it's not coming back in. It's
Yeah.
not coming back in the house. No one's going to use it. So technically you've donated it. It just hasn't left the vicinity of your entire household.
Yeah.
So practically at that point, you just need to get rid of it. And I always think it's a beautiful thing to make this a family ordeal. And it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay for everybody to help. So I really like that. Yeah, good job. Does anybody else want to share any of their top clutter spaces?
I can share.
Okay.
I have lots of space, and that creates opportunity for lots of clutter.
Yeah.
You've reached
I guess
Kaiser Permanente's Appointments and Advice Center. Para español, diga español.
Sorry, please mute yourself if you're not speaking. But the biggest thing that's creating me that stress is my clothes and my closets, and they've now gone to 3 closets and maybe 3.5 closets in the
Mhm.
house.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because children have moved out, just a little bit goes to the next closet and the next closet.
Yeah.
And like Fakanda said, we have nice clothes from back home, So I have my cold weather wardrobe, travel to Canada that I haven't gotten rid of yet. I have my work clothes, I have my desi dress clothes, I have my sweats. That's
Yeah.
overwhelming me, and that's where I'm looking for help.
Yes. Yes.
So
So definitely
all that stress.
Yeah. So definitely having space, it's such a nice thing to have space, but it's also a problem because immediately what do we all naturally want to do? We want to fill up that space. Oh, an empty closet. This closet can't stay empty. We have to fill it, So when it comes to clothing, definitely implement the 1 in, 1 out rule. 100%. This helps a lot with clothes. Okay. Number 2, this is a trick that I use. Everybody really loves this trick. You guys are going to like this one. I want you in all your closets, or if you only have 1 closet. For Rubina, she has 3 closets. So I want you to go into your 3 closets.
I have 4 closets.
Okay.
4
Someone has
closets full of
4,
clothes,
okay.
mashallah.
because the kids are not here, so their closets are full with my clothing.
It's a
You guys
closet
are like fashionistas, mashallah.
competition.
No, we are not. It's just like, you spend money on these clothes, and so and then I don't know why, like if you wear outfit once, the people usually don't wear it again. So that's how we keep collecting.
We now, Farkhanda, have a solution for that. We started olive rack.
I know. I have a whole bag. If someone is going from this, from my side, I will send it because I donated like about 15 bags in during the lockdown. They were doing a collection for Afghanistan,
Oh,
and
good.
the lady that I donated to, she said, "You know, these clothes they're not even worn." I said, "I
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
once or
We'll
twice."
connect with you, but that's where I'm hoping that
Okay.
mine will go there.
So
Me
I'm going to
too.
teach you guys this trick, and it really
The trick,
helps.
yes, the trick.
Okay. You go into your closets and you take all the hangers that you have with clothes on them, all your clothes that are hung up, you just face the hanger outward. So you know how usually we hang things like this?
Yes.
You take it, you hang it this way.
Okay.
So it's facing you.
Okay.
Okay. And you do this to every single one of your hangers, everything, your pants, your coats, your dresses, your fancy, everything. Then you set a time limit. You say, okay, Dania, I'm giving you 6 months. Okay, Dania, I'm giving you 1 year. You set a time limit for yourself, a reasonable time limit. Okay. Throughout this 1 year period, every time you take a piece out of your closet and you use it, when you put it back, you
Do the
hang
other
it
way.
the opposite way.
Okay. Okay.
You hang it the opposite way. If you use another piece, you hang it the opposite way. At the end of 1 year, any clothing item that has a hanger still facing towards you out, it was not touched in 1 year. And there's your answer. And don't sit here and tell me I'm going to use it. You didn't touch it in 1 year. You immediately take that item, you put it in a box, and you give it away to a good cause. This is the best solution for your closet, and it's the easiest way to make the decision for you. A lot of times we can't make the decision because we're sentimental. Oh, this was a gift from I don't know. I bought this when I was traveling. Oh my God, I spent $400 on this. How can I just give it away? So this decision will be made for you. I love that rule and I love that trick. It really works very well.
Thanks. Sounds great.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
And then my last tip, as you can see right here on the screen, it says donate your extra items. So of course, after you declutter, you're going to end up with a lot of items. And I agree with you guys. It's really hard to give away things when you know that they're not going to a good cause. Like you don't want to just go and give Goodwill all your stuff. That's not a good cause. Okay. But there are a lot of good causes and there are a lot of people in this world that are in need. In my community in Chicago, I found a group of refugees from all over the world, and they're in constant need of items, whether it's household items, kitchen items, baby items, clothing. And I'm constantly giving them items, and I'm constantly giving them items from my clients' homes. And my clients feel so much better giving their stuff away when they know that somebody is in need and they cannot afford to buy this item. And that makes you feel so much better about it. Some other ideas is you can research in your area if there's any domestic violence shelters, any shelters for women who are battered, habitat charities, looking at the local masjid, looking at refugees, seeing if anyone is collecting items to send overseas. These are all beautiful, beautiful ways that you can donate your items and feel good about it. And you can get really good hasanat for that. So that'll make you feel good. But the trick at that point is to make sure that you're not just giving away items and replacing them 5 minutes later. That's what's really the discipline of decluttering. Enjoying the empty space. Is there anything more beautiful than empty space? What do you enjoy more? Going to a closet and seeing it pretty much empty, or going to a closet and finding it completely filled? You can't even see one spot that's open. It's
The
peace.
first one.
It's the first one. It's finding that peace, finding that simple. There's something so nice about simplicity, emptiness. It brings you ease to your heart. So this is something we need to work on. I also have another challenge for you. So after you do the hanger challenge, try to do a challenge called the top shelf challenge. You know how we always have a top shelf, whether it's in our cupboard We have a top shelf in our closet. We have a top shelf in our linen closet, in our clothes closet, in our kitchen cabinet. Try to challenge yourself to always keep that top shelf empty. Because guess what? Guess what goes in the top shelf? Things you can't reach, things you don't use, things you're never even going to want to be in your face. So why do they need to take up that space? So this is something that I want you guys to implement. And there's nothing wrong with needing something down the line. And even if you gave it away, it's okay. We're all sisters and brothers. I share and I borrow things from my friends all the time. I had 3 children and I never once had to buy probably half of the baby items available because I borrowed from them. We borrow from each other. We have a group. We all post what we have. Everybody uses things. Nobody's house gets cluttered. Nobody's overspending. So it's a really nice way to create like a nice declutter group, a nice minimalist circle where people are like-minded and they have the same goal as you. So you don't always need to be thinking, I need to buy this and I need to keep it in my house. And honestly, ever since October, with everything going on in Gaza, we should be reminded every single day that entire families are living in one tent and they're living their life. Imagine how much stuff they have in that one tent. I can bet you it's probably not even 1% of what we have. And they're living life. So I think there's something so beautiful about disconnecting from our stuff and reconnecting with our creator. That's very important. It's a very important reminder. And then try to think about your well-being. Invest in yourself and invest in yourself and complete decluttering in your home because you're going to feel very well spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. A lot of times you might be feeling on edge. You might be snapping at your husband, snapping at your children, snapping at each other. And it might really be simply just because of your environment. Because, you just got out of your closet. You couldn't find what you needed. It's a mess. So imagine the difference it's going to make in the long run when you really, really achieve this goal and declutter those spaces in your house. Now, I have a few pointers for you when it comes to some of the other items that you mentioned. Photographs. Photographs is something that your generation deals with because you guys used to print photos. We don't print photos anymore.
I know.
Everything is on our phone. Yes. So there are a few things you can do. First, I'm going to start with the option that's probably the easiest, but it costs money, which some people prefer that. There's actually a company where you can send all your photos to, all your single photos, and they will turn it into a photo book for you, if that's something that you're interested in, okay? You send in your photos, they mail you back really nice books that have all your photos in there. So that way they're not all in one piece. That's something that you can do, okay? If you feel like that's not something for you, which is totally fine, that's not for everyone, there's a really nice way to organize photos in a case. I can actually show it to you guys. I can go grab mine just to show it to you guys. It's a very nice way to organize, label, and condense. Like instead of having a whole bunch of photo books, this condenses it. It looks like a little briefcase for photos. And when you open it up, there's little plastic compartments that are sections that you can put each like, oh, this family vacation, this family wedding. And you can just pick like the top 25 photos from that event and you can store it in this. And it's waterproof. It's very easily to transport. It's very easy to store. It won't take up so much space. So this is something that's a great idea if you do want to continue to keep those actual printed photos. So those are just 2 ideas when it comes to photo books. Now, regular books. I would implement the same exact system that I taught you with the clothes. Now, if you keep your books on bookshelves, this will work. If you keep your books in boxes, that's a different story. We can talk about that after this. So your books, usually you put a book facing inward like this, right? So usually your book is facing this way, okay?
Yes.
Take your books and flip them like this, okay? In the bookcase. Throughout the year, any book you're actually reaching for, using, reading, referring to, studying from, put it back this way.
The hanger
Okay?
rule.
Yes, exactly. Just like the hanger rule.
Hanger rule.
At the end of 1 year, the book you haven't touched is going to be facing outwards. So it's time to do 3 things. Number 1, you can offer your books to family and friends. That's fine. Number 2, you can take your book to many stores that will buy books from you. So like half price books. You can take them a whole bunch of books. They'll actually buy books from you. Okay. Number 3, you can sell the books yourself. A lot of people sell books, whether it's on eBay, whether it's on Amazon. They love to sell books. You can do that. And number 4, you can just donate them. That's perfectly up to you. But those are the 4 things that you can do with all those leftover books. Now, if your books are not on bookshelves, let's say you have like 5 boxes of books in the garage. Okay. What are you going to do with these books? Same thing. You can take them to half price books. You can donate them, or you can sell them. Those are your 3 options for books that are already basically halfway in storage. Okay. Now, mail. Mail is a really, really good one, and it's clutter that piles up. So this is what I do with our mail. I make sure to check our mail every day. That's step 1. Don't wait until the end of the week and you have to look through a whole week worth of mail. Don't do that to yourself. Do 1 day at a time. Grab your mail and then have a designated spot for your mail to go that's not in your visual space. So make sure it's not on a countertop. Make sure it's not on your kitchen table. Make sure it's not on your nightstand. Have a designated space for your mail to go. Something simple. You don't even need to buy anything. You can just have like a small cubby, a small compartment, a small drawer, a little from the dollar store. They sell like a little mail insert that you can just put your little envelopes in. Okay. This is the mail you need to go through. At time, everybody has a little bit of quiet time in the evening. Whenever you feel like you have quiet time, you go through your mail 1 by 1. The mail, this is what I do immediately. We all know when we look at our mail, what's junk and what's not right away. You can tell if something's an advertisement or if something's a bill, okay? If something's an advertisement, like a credit card offer, I don't even open it. Don't even open it. Don't bother. That just goes into the recycling bin for mail immediately, recycling bin, okay? Then I'm left with maybe 3 envelopes that I actually need. Maybe one is a bill. Maybe one is from the school. Maybe one is something else that's important. Those you open. If it's something you just need to read, you read it, you immediately toss it. If it's something you need to pay, you put it in your 2-file bin. You have a 2-file bin. Okay, that's a task. So that's something you need to get done. So you put it in your 2-file bin, and then when you get to it and you pay that bill, then you can recycle that envelope or file it in your filing cabinet. And then you look at your 3rd envelope. Let's say it's something that you need to return. It's something you need to fill out and return in the mail. So you also put that in your to-do bin. Okay, to-do bin. So you add that there so that you know that these are tasks I need to get to. Once you've completed it, you've completed that letter, returned your check, whatever, you put it in an envelope, you mail it out. And usually it makes sense to keep everything you need for mail all in one place. So I keep a drawer that has envelopes, stamps, my to-do bin, my mail insert, all in one drawer. They're all right next to each other. Why do I need to be going upstairs and downstairs and in this room and in this room to gather all these separate things? No. Do yourself a favor and keep it all together. You'll be more efficient. You'll be able to complete from A to Z all in one sitting, and it won't take you as long. You'll be able to complete those tasks. You won't procrastinate. So those are my tips when it comes to mail. Yeah.
So what do you do with the fine china? I bought this service for 12, with the gold plate and all that. I haven't used it. My daughter-in-law doesn't want it. My daughter doesn't want it. What do I do with it?
Okay. So if this is something that you don't want to just get rid of because it's high quality, you can take it to a consignment store. And consignment stores will actually sell it for you and give you like 40 or 50% of the profit. And I actually have friends that go out of their way to go consignment stores because they want to buy fine china sets like this. And when they find them, they get so excited. They buy them, they bring them home, they use them. So trust me, your junk is somebody else's treasure and they're willing to pay money for it.
Okay, thank you. Too bad you are not here, so you can send one of your friends to me.
Too bad, right?
Also, Dania, I have, first of all, thank you so much, Dania.
You're welcome.
I
Khaled
always
Nasiha.
remember you every time I
It's nice to
open
see you.
all the drawers, everything in my kitchen, I remember you. It's still fairly decent. It still
Oh,
needs a
good,
little
good.
bit touch, but
Good.
it's really great job. I have an answer for the lady. I have like 30, 40 years ago, my husband brought from Japan. He used to travel always with his work. Every trip he bring few plates to complete a set, all hand painted with gold trim. They were stored for 30 years. We moved 2-3 times and they weren't touched because they have to be very special occasion and we don't
Yeah.
have that. Finally, a few years ago, I told them, look, either we get rid of them, the kids take them or sell them, or I'm gonna use them. I have been using them every day, enjoying them, put them in the dishwasher, nothing happened to them if they are really good quality, and I'm enjoying them. So this is advice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
such a
if they might, I might die before they die. So that's my policy.
yeah.
Assalamu
Definitely we
alaikum,
don't enjoy
Nazia.
our things.
I'm not just a lady. I'm Farkhunda, Yasser's mom. Remember me? You were my
Yes.
neighbor.
Yes.
And it's a good idea, but my fine china, it is so fine that it will start breaking in like 1 or 2 washes. It's really
They will not
fine.
break. Believe me, if they are good quality, nothing will happen. And I don't want them to outlive us. You know, I mean, let
It's
us
okay if it
outlive
breaks.
them. It's okay to break. It's okay.
Yeah, but
Let's
Okay.
enjoy them or give away. I agree with Dania.
Yeah. If you're not gonna break them, somebody else will. So you might as well be the one to break
Exactly.
them and feel
yeah,
good. Like
that's
you
okay
did.
because if someone else breaks it, I won't see that. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
I won't be seeing that. Like they can buy it from me and break it or throw it away, but I won't see that. So
We are not living much more, so let's enjoy everything in our life.
That's excellent advice, Naziha. That's and for Kanda, I think that's the same thing that you're saying about China is about the clothes. You know, and
clothes I
Exactly.
don't mind donating. I mean, if anybody wants China, I'm willing to donate that
show me
too.
the pattern. Show me the pattern because I'm growing green, and I gave my china to the great finds in Garden Grove. I have no idea who used it, but I'm using Corningware all the time. So if you
That's
have
why I
fine
replaced.
china,
Yes.
maybe I'll use it for a little bit. And
Yeah, I replaced that fine china with Corningware, and I love it. No matter how many times you wash it, it looks new. It's fancy, and you can. So
send us the picture. Send me the picture. See,
I will, sure.
and I'll
And
make sure that it does not become my clutter. Okay.
okay.
No, I will
and
not
if-
sell it to you. No, if you're trying to declutter, no
and
way. I'm not going
Rubina-
to give it to you. No.
and
so Rubina,
Nazia, if you
You guys
I
are
have
not allowed to give
I
each
have
other
a project, Rubina. If you don't beat me to it at Olive, for Seville is like to have a marketplace online. I'm trying to find the right person. Anything really precious, we put it online, and it will be like on Facebook, and we will always add like a store online and sell it for Seville. So like expensive china, like even
Yeah.
I'm doing now auction on gold. I'm collecting pieces, small pieces of gold, and appraise it and put it for auction too. So slowly, these things we are just sitting in our closet. We can sell it. We get sawab and give it to whether Sabil or Olive. You know, you want to do it. It's just like we can get blessing for that. So we don't get too much clutter for things expensive and just sitting in our closets.
So
Inshallah.
that's a very good point, Naziha, because part of Olive Rack, actually we started Olive Rack with the online store. And
Oh, you have, wait, you
we
have.
have
your-
online store, we've set it up, we've set up the payment system and everything. And we just haven't outreach to launch it. And it kind of went
Okay.
sideways to the in-person store. So
Okay, I'm
all that
still
you're
in the
saying that
research.
we've been working on it for the last 6-8 months. Inshallah, it'll
Then
come
we
online.
will do partnership with you
We can
since you did the
definitely do
work and we'll
partnership, yes.
support you.
We
I
can-
don't have to do duplicates. You can
Let's
do
talk
it
about
and
it.
I'll
Yep.
support you.
Let's talk about it. Excellent. You know, one thing that I picked up, Dania, from there is just what we're talking about is having a declutter group. That's one thing that really stood out to me. And that's what I'm talking with Furkan. That's what I'm talking with Naziha. That
It's much
just
easier.
among us, we
Yeah.
can have, hey, I've used this, you know, and I remember I was at one of the olive bazaars, the one we had. There was one outfit and two ladies were looking at it, and one of them was me. I said, you know, to the other, you take it, then you bring it back, then I'll buy it. You know, you're going to wear it 1 or 2 times. I will wear it 1 or 2 times. So I think this declutter group, I'd love one. I'd love to do one.
It's really beneficial to do things in partnerships and to do things in groups. And we always say, even in our deen, that like a sahib, which means your friend will push you to do the right thing or to do the wrong thing. So like try to find someone who has the same goal as you, because they'll help you. Oh, hey, today let's declutter my pantry together. Next week I'll come over and I'm gonna help you declutter, and you have a great time. You make a cup of coffee. You make a day out of it.
That's what
And
I.
this
Can I
is-
say
for my
something,
clothes-
please?
My
This
clothes.
is
Yes. I think she has a question.
I know. I just wanted to bring to your notice that people have started making these groups in which they share their stuff, whatever it is, and then they want to, you know, anybody who needs it, just give it to them straight away. Like, you know,
Yes,
not
it's
putting on
called-
sale.
it's
Like,
called
if I
buy
need
nothing.
something,
Yeah.
if I have something
Yeah.
extra, I put it there, and the list is there. Anybody who needs it, you know, just has to, you know,
It's very
take it
easy
from there.
because you
That's
don't
so-
have to coordinate with anyone. You literally
Yeah,
just
and
leave it
then-
on your doorstep.
People after Gaza also, people have started, you know, saying, let's not buy clothes. Let's wear use clothes, you know, from exchange clothes from our friends or anybody like in joining these groups. And that makes
Well,
sense, I think.
Olive Rack doing great job.
Yeah, oh, we've been spending back in the back end a lot of effort that you don't see. I'm just answering a message. That this the question came in that would this be available online? But yes, it will be on Olive YouTube, probably within.
Instagram.
This isn't it too big for Instagram?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is too big.
We
Yeah.
have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
2 hours for Instagram and Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and it'll take a few days to get there because we have so many staff and key volunteers on vacation right now. You know, like 6 of them. That's a lot. Yes, it will be available and it is being recorded. It is being recorded. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract, but you know, multitasking is not always practical.
So just a few takeaways from today.
Yes,
You guys already wrote down five areas in your home that bother you, that are cluttered, that continue to stay cluttered. So let's start with those areas. Keep that list and you can start tackling it every week. Set a goal for yourself. My hope is that you start small, because if you start small and you achieve
More.
project, you're going to be motivated to continue. You don't want to start big and not be able to continue and then get discouraged.
Right.
Number 2, please find other people who support you, other people who are like-minded. If your husband doesn't support you, he shouldn't be part of this project. If he's going to tell you, no, I want to keep everything forever until the end of time, and even after that, he's not the right person to take this project on. But find people who are like you. Organize with a friend, declutter with your daughter or son, anyone who's interested and is going to help you and push you in the right direction. Number 3, definitely find those areas where you can donate to a good cause. This is going to be huge in your success. You are going to be so willing to donate and declutter if you know that it's going to a good home and to a good cause. And lastly, just remember what our ultimate goal is in this life. It's not to collect stuff. It's to leave behind good deeds, and it's to leave this world with nothing in our hands. So try your best to declutter and make space. And I promise you, as an organizer, nothing material will feel as good as having space and peace in your heart. So just remember that when you reach for, the next item you want to buy, really try to think twice and 3 times if I really need this. Do I have space for this? Where can I actually put this in my home? And if the answer is I don't have a space for it, then don't buy it. Because as you can see, this world is filled with stuff. You go to Target, it's filled with stuff. You go to Walmart, it's filled with stuff. You go to people's houses, there's more stuff. Like, stuff is endless. You don't buy this dress, in 2 minutes, 30 more dresses are going to be online. Like, it's never, ever ending, ever. So this is something we all need to recognize and work on for ourselves. So I hope this was helpful. And I hope you guys use these 10 decluttering strategies to get started and accomplish all your goals, inshallah.
Thank you. Very much.
One point is, our mindset has also to be changed. If I have 3 good dresses, I will definitely repeat those. Now, our mentality is that, oh, she wore that last time, she's wearing it again. So this mindset has also to be changed, We always want to have a new dress for every occasion. And that's not fair. You can't buy expensive dresses and then keep them hanging in your wardrobe for a long, long time.
Again,
just remember, it's not the dress that has confidence. It's the person wearing it.
Yeah.
The dress has no meaning. It's the person wearing it. How do you carry yourself? How are you acting, behaving in that dress? That's what's going to leave an impression. So I wear the same stuff over and over and over. And there was a girl who did an experiment with 10 clothing items, and she turned it into 40 outfits with 10 pieces. And nobody could tell she was wearing the same 10 things. So you can be creative with the same things you have. You can change out the belt, you could change out a scarf, you could change out the accessory, you could change out the purse, the shoes. You'll look different each time. So really changing that mindset. It's very important.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a nice place to conclude. And I just want to share a very quick reflection that my mother passed away recently, and I really did a mental check of all the things in life and within 4 hours of her passing, her last final small nursing home room was also cleaned out. So there's nothing that we're going to take with us. And I think that, Dania, again, thank you very, very much.
Of course, you're welcome. Thank you for having
so much.
Thank you. And I'm going to stop the
so much
recording now. And I'll see everybody next week.
Olive Community Services is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Southern California that provides culturally appropriate services to seniors, their family, and the community. Through its physical and virtual interactive programs, Olive engages participants in a variety of ways that promotes health and well-being. To learn more about Olive Community Services, to get involved, or to make a donation, please visit www.olivecs.org or email info@olivecs.org. Be a change maker, and together, let's live, learn, and thrive.